Anxiety is truly the plague of the 21st century. We feel so anxious about the future that we simply cannot enjoy the present moment. I think this is so unfortunate because we end up missing out on the beautiful life that is happening right here, right now. And one of the worst things about anxiety is that once you start spinning out, it's very hard to stop. We start to ruminate on our thoughts and they start to increase in size and scale, and we simply cannot get out of this anxiety spiral. Hey guys, my name is Paulina. If this is your first time on my channel. And in this video, I just want to share my top strategies on how to stop spiraling and how to stop feeling anxious. Do not let anxiety rob you of this beautiful present moment that you're living today. My strategy number one in coping with anxiety is to imagine worst case scenario. What if your worst fear masked by anxiety would come to fruition? What would happen? In contemplating this outcome, you might start to realize that it wouldn't be the end of the world. Sometimes we experience this unpleasant wave of anxiety when in reality it's just related to truly trivial things that in the grand scheme of things do not really matter. I will give you an example. Being anxious about an upcoming job interview. What would be the worst case scenario? Maybe the person who is interviewing you will come to some unpleasant conclusion about you and will judge you, and ultimately you will not be offered a position at this company. Yes, this outcome might sound undesirable, but is it truly worth it to be spiraling in anxiety over this situation? Like I said, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not even going to be the end of your life. And even if you are feeling anxious about something much more profound, something related to your livelihood or to your family or to your relationships. Even in those cases, most likely the worst case scenario is not going to be so totally terrible that, it's worth being anxious about. In my experience, this strategy helped me a lot. It would just help me get this reality check. And I encourage you to try your best to accept the worst case scenario. It is so liberating to have this "so what" attitude. This strategy is very helpful in recognizing that whatever we feel anxious about, it doesn't have as much power as we assign to it. I remember my dad in my childhood would always tell me, what's the worst that can happen? My second strategy is to practice gratitude in the present moment. I think this is by far the best antidote to anxiety. When we are anxious, we worry about not having something in the future, not having a certain outcome that we are really relying on. But I encourage you to look around yourself now. Look around you. You have so much abundance in the now. You have so much to be grateful for in the now. And this moment here and now, this is a tangible moment that we're actually experiencing versus the future is just an illusion that exists in our minds. Think about how grateful you are for yourself. Even having an ability to see with your eyes, even having the ability to walk with your legs or use your arms, even being grateful for these ordinary things, it brings you back into the present moment where you have so much more than a lot of other people on this planet. It is so important to recognize the gifts that we have been given here and now. You can even feel grateful for being born into this marvelous world. And I'm asking you to really feel it. Think about your loved ones. Think about the food that you have on your plate. Think about the roof that you have over your head. Every single little thing that exists in your life that gives you a sense of stability, security, love, happiness, everything. Right here and right now, we have so much. And guess what? We're willing to disregard all of this in order to feed our anxiety about the illusion of the future. When we shift into anxiety, we simply dismiss the beauty of now. And let me tell you something. You cannot be anxious and grateful at the same time. It's just not possible because these two feelings are completely opposite. So when you actively choose the mindset of gratitude, your anxiety will fade into the background. So the choice is yours. Pick what you want to experience. My third strategy is very hands-on. It is to work out. I think working out is great in terms of dealing with anxiety. Ultimately, anxiety is just this mental energy that's being channeled into this negative thought pattern. Physical exercise is a great way for you to take the same energy and release it and channel it into something else. When we're anxious, all of this energy is just like building up, but it's not being released. That's why we start to ruminate and obsess. But then when you work out, the act of working out can be so intense that you are being brought right into the present moment, and that energy is just being released. I suggest that you pick something intense that will be quite difficult, and it will not allow you to keep obsessing over something. My personal favorites are running and solid core. When I run, sometimes it's so difficult that I truly cannot keep obsessing over something. And solid core is a studio where you do Pilates on a reformer machine, and it is really intense. You have to hold plank for 15 minutes sometimes, and it's just so intense that, again, you cannot be ruminating or feeling anxious about something. I think if you give it a shot, you will definitely feel so much better after a workout. When you feel yourself slipping into the anxiety spiral, just go outside and do something or go for a workout class. My strategy number 4 in combating anxiety is to actively pick positive narratives. I think anxiety is often exacerbated by us being exposed to all these negative stories. And I want to make a very bold statement. I think in 99% of cases, these negative stories are not benefiting us whatsoever. These negative stories are not doing you any good. They're just keeping you anxious. They're keeping you wary about the future. So my proposal is that we take our attention away from the negativity and we actively pick positive stories. Just like you want to surround yourself with positive people, surround yourself with positive information as well. How can we do that? We can stop reading the news. And if you don't want to stop reading the news altogether, maybe you limit how much you read the news. Because ultimately, all of these news sources are businesses, right? All of the media sources, those are businesses and they need to be profitable. And I feel like the more negative something is, the more we can be drawn to it because of our survival instinct. So that's why all of the media platforms are just populated with so much negativity. I personally don't read the news, and if something major happens, I learn about it anyways from other people who are reading the news. Or I might see it on Instagram or something like that. I still feel like I am informed enough that I don't need to be reading the news every day and absorbing all of these negative narratives. Another thing you can do to fill your life with more positivity is to watch success stories on YouTube. YouTube is honestly a platform that represents the world. You can find negative videos on YouTube, but you can also find amazing positive videos on YouTube that will uplift you, that will make you believe in yourself, and that will calm down your anxiety. So focus on watching those kinds of videos, and that will help create these positive narratives in your life. You can also read positive literature, or you can also maybe work with a therapist to reframe your thinking in a more beneficial way. I think when we expose ourselves to so much negativity, then we start to believe that our well-being is super fragile. Everything is hanging by a thread. Everything might just be jeopardized. Any second, any minute, something might happen to us. In fact, this world is abundant. It has so much to offer. And we ultimately pick the perspective that we subscribe to. You can find very negative things in this world, but you can also find very positive things in this world. I believe that when we pick a positive perspective, our anxiety will automatically be reduced. And it's just a more pleasant way to live. That's what I think. This strategy really helped me in 2022 when a certain political conflict happened. And I just remember I was reading the news every single day and I was feeling so depressed. I was having such a grim outlook on life. I was crying every single day, and it was a very difficult period of my life. But then I stopped reading the news obsessively, and I bought this journal of positivity in which I was writing things I was grateful for, and I was writing down different positive stories or aspirations that I have for myself. And it definitely helped me so much to reframe my thinking. My next strategy is very spiritual, and it is to trust the universe. I know that certain people that are watching this can be atheists or do not have any spiritual belief, and that's totally fine. But this strategy personally really helps me. I can tell you that deep in my core, I definitely feel like I am connected with the universe or God or any other name that you want to give to this universal force that is omnipresent. I personally like the word universe, so that's why I'm using this one. Sometimes when I'm anxious and I'm starting to spiral, I just tell myself this mantra: I trust the universe. The universe loves me, and the universe always has my back. Everything is always working out for the best, no matter what. Maybe if you look inside yourself, you will also feel this connection, and maybe this mantra will also work for you. Of course, if I'm really trapped in anxiety, it might take me some time to get out of this state, but I ultimately will if I keep repeating this to myself, if I keep reconnecting with these truths that are true for me. When I tell these mantras to myself, I end up looking around and I see all of the beautiful gifts that the universe has provided for me. And I just feel grateful, and I know that I really trust the process. Deep inside of me, I trust that everything will work out. I encourage you to go within and to see whether you have the same trust, the same unshakable trust in the process. And maybe if you do, then you can also tap into that in the moments of anxiety. This is it for this video. I fully recognize that anxiety can be a very difficult condition to navigate, especially if you keep repetitively falling into it and you just don't know how to get out. I fully sympathize with everyone who is experiencing that. I've definitely been there, but I do hope that the strategies that I share with you in this video, the ones that work for me, maybe they will give you a sense of control over this condition of anxiety. I encourage you to cherish this beautiful moment of now. And it's just not worth giving it up for the illusion of a negative future. If we keep succumbing to anxiety, we might miss out on life. And we might wake up one day being old and realize that the entire life passed us by. So don't let it happen. Thank you so much for being here with me, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.